our food banks during this time, they always need help. I mean, they need financial donations, they need food donations, and so something that my team did is we went up to Humber College, where Global Medic is working right now. Global Medic is basically providing food all across our province. They also do international work where they provide food supplies. So we got a team of us up there, and we packed carloads of boxes of rice, chickpeas, lentils, you name it. And it was about 1,000 pounds, I should say, of food. So we drove that from the Toronto area straight to Innisfil, to the Innisfil Community Church and the food bank they run there with Pastor Courtney. And a lot of it was just, we always think of those, that are in need and be able to help. And so Global Medic's doing, great work. They've been doing this, like I said, across the province. And so we wanted to also step up as a team and show our efforts to support the community. We'll also be doing a donation to the Barrie Food Bank as well later on in the next few weeks or so. But we're really thrilled, and I know Pastor Courtney's been doing incredible work with the Innisfil Food Bank. There's been a lot of individuals that have stepped up. There was even a story of individuals donating their OAS money, Ontario Old Age Security, to purchase food for those in need. So again, it's just a collective effort. I was really thrilled. Raul, who runs Global Medic, is just running such a great operation there. It's all run by volunteers. So if those who are watching this, they're looking to do some volunteer work to help with food supply, they're always looking for folks to help pack the food. It's just a few hours there at Humber. It's a beautiful spot they've got set up, and you could be providing not just food to your local community, but all around our province. And what we've seen with COVID-19 is that we really are doing a lot of things virtually, but there's a bit of an inequality when it comes to virtual access, and that is the broadband, and that's internet access across our own province. And so, what COVID-19 has really showed is life in the 21st century really requires, fast, reliable internet connections. When we're on Zoom, you can see, one person will be a bit grainy and their microphone will be cutting out versus someone will be clear. And so we have that discrepancy within our province. And it's interesting because if you look back at our history, is, the railroad was a huge unifier in Canada, getting that transit line going. The telephone then became a unifier of connecting people, and it didn't matter your social economic status, you could connect with everyone as time moved on. Now we're in the age of internet, and it's interesting because we've had the internet around for so long, moving from dial-up to what we have now with fiber optic, but there's still places that don't have the right connection. And so what the provincial government has done is we've rolled out a SWIFT program, which is basically a Southwestern dedicated fund to give money to broadband, lay the fiber optic cables, etc. We gave about $150 million to that fund. So the entire SWIFT program is a combined $150 million investment that's going towards connecting new homes and new businesses. But of course, as part of this investment, the Southwestern Integrated Fiber Technology Inc. has issued a request for proposals for up to $27.9 million for broadband infrastructure in Simcoe County alone. So that's $27.9 million for just our county, which is fantastic considering the amount of pockets we have that are still not fully connected. And that was through Minister of Infrastructure in Ontario, Laurie Scott, who is very familiar with that need. I mean, she represents the Kawartha Lakes area, and as much as we love to eat our Kawartha Lakes dairy ice cream, many individuals there are not able to do their home businesses because of the lack of internet connection. We have that in parts of Innisfil, we have it in parts of Barrie, and so it's something that we really need to pull our socks up on, because again, that connectivity of being able to work from home and provide or teach or have your kids tune in for online learning. A big component of that is having access to internet. And so I know when it came to the education component, our provincial government worked with whether it was Apple or Rogers, and provided kids that didn't have access to internet with an iPad that had Wi-Fi built in, so they could do their online learning because their school year was disrupted with the pandemic. So that was solved, but that's for our kids and of course the next generation. But there's also individuals who've got to make a living from working at home. So the ability to really invest in broadband across our province has always been a goal of ours provincially, and we're going to continue to work towards that, work with our federal members. And so the call for proposals has been put out. It closes September 11th. So, if it's a Simcoe County that can apply, it can be a township that can apply. But really, this is to really connect our rural areas, the pockets that we have within our area, so that everyone is connected. Because, we've got to really unlock our full potential as a community. And part of unlocking that full potential is having equal access to broadband, so everyone can work and be able to learn online through that connectivity into the 21st century.
We're very excited to be having our golf tournament this year. It's our 10th annual up at Bear Creek. And it's the same place we always have it because they're amazing, and it's an amazing course. So this year we're doing things a little bit differently. We're not doing our noon shotgun start as we always do. We are booking tee times, and we are booking quickly, which is great. Registration is $150. We're also coupling this with our third annual Moneyball helicopter ball drop, which is so exciting. We're only selling 500 tickets, and tickets are starting to go already. Tickets are $25, can be purchased here at Matthews House or online. And then in the evening on Wednesday, September 9th, the day of the golf tournament, we will be dropping these 500 balls by helicopter over 3 holes on the course, and top prize is $2,500. And second prize is $1,000, and third prize $500. And it's such a great way to support, and it's so much fun. And we can't thank Moffitt's Mazda and Mike Guerra Realty for continuing to be our excellent Moneyball sponsors. They can go to matthewshousehospice.ca, or they can call us at 705-435-7218.
We rescue and rehabilitate orphaned or injured wildlife, any native species to Ontario. We're licensed by the Ministry of Natural Resources and Forestry, and animal species have to be specifically listed on the license. We focus on small mammals, so we primarily have raccoons. Procyon is Latin. Procyon lactoris is the Latin name for raccoons, and was the first love of the veterinarian that started the center. Skunks, fox, squirrels, opossums, porcupines, whatever, almost whatever. That we will look after if they've been orphaned or injured. We don't do removal of nuisance animals, for example, although that is often how we receive our orphans, is when people do a poor job of dealing with nuisance animals and end up with a mother trapped and relocated beyond the 1 kilometer legal limit, or killed, and the orphan babies left behind. We had already started receiving animals. We were not yet open for the season when things started to get crazy with all of the pandemic stuff. And when things were getting locked down, we were unable to determine at first on whether or not we would be determined an essential service. And we were petrified that we would have to shut down. And we already had some animals, and we knew how many we do receive every year, and we were very concerned because it was considered emergency kind of went under the veterinary emergency side of the rules, we were able to open with a lot of additional protocols, with a lot of restrictions on how many people. So we had volunteers coming back, returning volunteers that were already trained, and we had one training session for some first-year volunteers. So we were able to start with a very limited staff, where we could keep just one person in each room. We did a lot more fostering than we would ever normally do, and having experienced volunteers take babies home until they were a lower maintenance. When they need to be fed every 3-4 hours, we just didn't have enough bodies here for that, so we would foster them out this year. We changed our scheduling for our volunteer shifts. Normally, we want our shifts to overlap. We want the people coming in to be able to talk to the people going out to find out what happened, what's next to be done, etc. And instead, we created 2-hour breaks in between shifts to ensure that they weren't bumping into each other and that shift wouldn't connect with the next shift. Our Canada Summer Job students started, and we're very dependent on those full-time people for continuity and the heavy work as we get into early summer. So we've scheduled them to do outside because they are in full-time, and so they work independently of the volunteers, just trying to make sure we keep everybody safe. What we need right now is more enclosures, which means money and manpower, labor. The medicines, the formulas, they cost a lot of money. And we have, again, wonderful things like the foundation that supports wildlife rescues, bringing us nest boxes and foods. They're working hard to support all of the rescues this year. And I think one of the things we need more than anything is to not get as many animals. Education. Education is key in helping people coexist with wildlife. There's lots of ways to encourage that skunk out from under your shed or the raccoon out of your attic to leave and take her babies with her without trapping and releasing away or shooting them, killing them, poisoning them. Learning to coexist and to solve those problems without conflict brings us less babies, saves us time, money, and that would eventually, we shouldn't even need to be here. With the COVID pandemic, all of our normal big fundraisers, funnily enough, our yard sale is one of our biggest fundraisers with the least amount of work other than hauling stuff. Canceled or delayed, golf tournament canceled, our photo shoots at Easter time canceled. So a lot of things that we were hoping to have money for this year isn't going to happen. But we are finding that people are stepping up, and when they're bringing us animals, sometimes instead of $20, it might be $100. We had a lady bring us an injured raccoon early in the spring and noticed that we were all wearing masks, surgical paper masks, and she makes these. So she offered to, as a fundraiser, make masks where her costs were covered, but we get the rest of the money. In just the first few weeks, she's already brought us $1,000. It's been people stepping up and realizing that it's not just us facing this. And I think other charities are finding the same thing as well, that people are stepping up more. And a lot of people are suffering financially this year. So the fact that people are giving more at a time when they're facing more restraint touches me because it means they care. And that makes it worthwhile for what we do.
This year, the Women and Children's Shelter Barrie is doing Walk a Mile a little differently. This year, we are taking the full month of September and going online. We are encouraging people to grab friends and family and strut their stuff any way they wish. Walk, run, skip, hop, all for Walk a Mile. Snap a shot of your activity and share it with us. Once you take a photo and share it on your socials, be sure to use hashtag #WalkAMileBarrie. We want to see how creative you can be while you walk a mile in her shoes. Register at barrieshelter.com. Registration is based on donation, but we do have a new way of giving this year. Starting September 1st, you can text Give Hope to 30333 to donate $25 to Walk a Mile.
Well, Glowing Hearts means that I am out there helping people that just need that little extra hand up. It's not a hand out, it's a hand up. And it is amazing to see smiles. I've had people come in from, for example, the Women and Children's Crisis Center. I had a lady come in one day and she only had on her pajamas. She had left a situation in the middle of the night with her purse, her pajamas, and her child only had pajamas. And when she came in, she was just sort of like, you should see she was deflated, and you know, she was so distraught, and she said she was so embarrassed because she comes from a house that's very nice and a brand new car and all these things, but it was not a good situation. And so she had never had to come to a place like this before, and she felt kind of embarrassed. And I said to her, there's no sense in being embarrassed. Everybody is welcome here. It doesn't matter if you make $1 million or you make no dollars. I said, this is a place where we're just here to, you know, make sure people get what they need. Frank had a dying initiative when he was diagnosed with cancer. And he wanted to give back to our community to help people that were working every day or on a low income to sort of meet in the middle where they were paying all their bills, but they didn't have really enough left over, so maybe they needed work pants or their children needed shoes or toys or that sort of stuff. And he wanted to make a place where A, we were keeping it out of the landfill, and B, where they could come in, people gave what they had and didn't need anymore, and somebody else could take it for free. When they come in, right now, men and women are allowed 20 items each. We have certain things that are limited, such as dresses, where a woman is allowed 3 dresses. There's also things that they're only allowed 1 of, only because we may not get that many, such as towels. We never seem to have enough towels, so I limit them to 1 per person. But there's also things that are counted as 1. So they might get 3 pairs of socks. Well, that's 1 of their 20 items. So, and it's each family member. So not only is they're allowed 20 themselves, but their children are unlimited, so they can come in and take as many children's clothes and toys as they need. There's housewares, there's linens, there's clothing, there's toys, we have sporting goods, we have books, we have electronics, so we have a little bit of everything, and they can take what they need. So it's all free. We have no government funding at the moment. We have applied for some places, and so we're hoping to eventually get some government funding. But in the last 4 years, our rent and all of our running costs have been paid by monetary donations from businesses and individuals that believe in what Frank started, and they believe that, you know, about what we're doing here to help everybody. So that's how our bills get paid. Now with COVID, of course, we weren't open for the last few months, and so those monetary donations have not come in. So we are in a desperate need of some monetary help at the moment. However, we've been greatly blessed with some very nice donations in the last 3 or 4 weeks, which has made us smile because we were managing to pay the rent. Since COVID, our procedures have changed quite a bit. We were open 4 days a week, so Monday, Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays all day. We took in donations every day, and we also took in, they were allowed to shop every single day. Now, we're only allowing people to shop 1 day a week, 10 to 4 on Saturdays, and we are taking donations only on Sundays, 10 to 1, and it's by appointment only. So we're staggering them so that nobody meets each other in the hall. What we're doing also is we're having volunteers meeting them at the front door, taking the donations right out of them. We are all wearing our masks and our visors. When you come into the store, you have to wear a mask. You have to have some hand sanitizers. We're only allowing 5 people to shop at once, so it's limited people to come into the store. When they're standing out in the hall waiting, I have them 6 feet apart, and everybody's been great about it, really. I would love to see maybe some more ideas from the community about what we can do online for some fundraisers, because we usually do at least 3 fundraisers a year. One of them would have been Mother's Day, which generates about $5,000. And so we were closed because of COVID during Mother's Day. And so that money was not there. And so I am not, I'm trying to come up with some really good ideas to do stuff online, but I'm struggling. So I would love for the community to help me with that. That would be awesome. I would want Frank to know that there are so many people that believed in his idea, and he has so much support here today, and his family and our volunteers and myself are just so pleased to continue his legacy. We're just so happy to do it for him.
We are a small grassroots nonprofit. We've been around for, I believe, 8 or 9 years, coming up on 10 shortly. Yeah, it's always been a volunteer organization run by community members, and we've always been very focused on engaging on a political and educational level, as well as doing like celebratory events, because that's really important to us.
Honestly, I am, like you said, just very passionate. I have been fortunate to be part of this community, despite the struggles that I have as a non-binary person. But honestly, I think the best the best way to combat that is just to either A, kill them with kindness, or B, just kill them with education.
Yeah, absolutely. We absolutely invite anyone to come out to our events. There are definitely some events that are slightly more geared by community for community, but that definitely does not exclude anyone from being a part of that. Some of our events are also aimed a little more at allies or members of the community who are maybe newer and looking to gain more education, and those would be things like the mini conference and things like that. But yeah, no, our events are always open to whoever would like to attend them, all age ranges. We try to make it as accessible as possible. If there's ever concerns around that, folks can reach out to our board and we will make it happen to make sure you can be there with us.
I'm here, I'm queer, we're here, we're queer. It's important to, touch on education as well as being visible and active in the community. And I think having those 2 weeks where we're just throwing events at you, I think is, it's cool.
I think for me, it really comes down to occupying space and being able to take up space that isn't offered to us otherwise a lot of times, and taking the time to honor our history and our ancestors and the resilient spirit that I think queer community has.
Hi, I'm Christina, owner of the Transformation Station in Barrie. One thing you'll notice when you enter our gym is that you are accepted. My journey first started when I was about 15 years old. I was almost 400 pounds, and I realized that I needed to make some changes in my life. I learned what worked for me, what didn't work for me, and then fast forward a few years, I was able to drop at first 100 pounds, and I had so many people asking me how are you losing weight? Can I come to the gym with you? Can I be your workout partner? It was just a whole community. I love working out with people. As I started to grow in fitness, I started to fall in love with it. And seeing other people happy, it just makes me, I'm gonna cry. Seeing other people happy, it makes me so happy. Like even something as small as being able to bend over and tie their shoes. And within the last year, it's like I just felt where I wasn't where I was meant to be. And all of a sudden, doors just kept opening. And then all of a sudden, I'm here with the transformation station. The way I have structured my journey, like I've competed in 3 or 4 different fitness competitions and shows, and I went from falling in love with the process and being healthy to now stepping into a sport, but I've taken all aspects of that. So what I've implemented in this gym is that we're very positive here. So we start from the bases, and if you need it to be harder, we make it harder. If you need it to be a little bit easier, we make it a little bit easier. But everybody, I kid you not, every person that's walked through this door and has signed up as a member, we're all a part of this community, and we all, we egg each other on. It's good job. Where are we going? What are we doing? And everyone has just became accountable. The transformation competition that we're holding here in November, I've taken a mix of my experience and background competing internationally with my transformation and fitness shows, and the idea of when I was a little girl, I used to watch, there was a show called Jenny Jones, and they had a Geek to Chic, it was in the 90s, and I used to sit there and I used to watch and be like, look at that person's before picture, and then they would burst out, and they're fabulous, and they're full of confidence, and they're radiant. And since I was a little girl, I always dreamed of being that person. So the idea of the transformation show here is that we've taken my experience with the competition and the Geek to Chic and made it as one. So anybody that either they train with someone, they don't train with someone, they have a transformation story, they can compete in this show, and you don't have to step on stage wearing a tiny little bikini. You can wear whatever you're comfortable with. If someone feels comfortable with skinny jeans and a nice fitted shirt and maybe a bomber jacket, they're just as welcome as someone who's stepping on stage in a swimsuit. It's whatever is gonna pull out the best in each person. I believe that transformations first start within the mind, and one thing that people will hear me say weekly is if you can conquer your mind, you can conquer anything. So as I'm teaching classes, we do something called Metcon, which is Metabolic Conditioning. I took the idea of a CrossFit and a curved circuit training and made it as one. And literally everyone is working to their best capabilities, so everyone's pushing themselves. And as the time on the clock goes by, it gets a little bit harder. But you'll always hear me say during class, dig deeper, do your best. Your body quits before your mind does. Keep going, you can find it. The last 20 seconds are the best 20 seconds. So I really believe that when you can convince your mind and you're hearing those things, that you can go and dig a little bit deeper. That way you can accomplish your goals, because those little tiny moments add up to the bigger picture. Yeah, you got this, keep going. Your mind quits before your body does. Dig deeper. Yeah, Maddie, good job. Awesome.
When the pandemic happened, first and foremost, we wanted to make sure that our staff, our volunteers, and the public remained safe, which is why we made the decision to close our doors. And of course, it was upon recommendation of the government and public health officials as well. So that means we weren't doing any more adoptions. The animals that were with us during the whole pandemic stayed with us. And they got, all the enrichment, all the attention from the staff. They actually got way more than usual because we were closed to the public. So, the staff had time to spend with each individual animal every day and give them lots of attention and lots of enrichment during that time to keep them happy and healthy. So we were still taking in stray animals within, our centers in Barrie. So within the city of Barrie, we were still taking in stray animals. But, we wanted to make sure that people had the resources that they needed to keep their pets with them during this trying time. A lot of people lost their jobs, and we wanted to make sure their pets stayed with them. So I'm not sure if you heard about our Urgent Animal Care Fund, which is still there and available to donate to, but the Urgent Animal Care Fund was kind of brought about because we wanted to keep pets with their people. So, if you're looking for pet food for your pet because you can't afford it that month, then the Urgent Animal Care Fund can cover something like that. So we are super happy to be able to introduce that and help people in other ways. Sweat for Pets is still happening. We're on week 5, so it's a super fun and exciting fundraiser. Of course, we can't have our Friends for Life Walk, which is an annual event usually taking place in September. So in place of that, we have our virtual Sweat for Pets. So each week, when you register, you get a challenge sent to you. And they range, there's a theme each week. So they range from, can you run faster than your dog, or, how long can you skip rope like a rabbit? And we encourage you to complete those challenges, get your friends and family involved, encourage them to either donate to your cause or, register and raise money on their own. And just have fun this summer and help animals in need that way. So you'll register at sweatforpets.ca. You only have to register once, and then you'll get a challenge sent to you each week. So it runs for 10 weeks. And like I said, we're the 5th week, so we're about halfway through right now, but we still encourage you to join. You can join in at any time. If you don't want to register, you don't want to, get the challenges to you or anything like that, that's totally okay. If you still want to donate, definitely still visit sweatforpets.ca, and you can donate to whichever animal center is closest to you, or whatever animal center you would like to donate to. New limited contactless adoptions is, like I said, completely contactless and all virtual as well. So essentially what will happen is the process is kind of the same in that you still can go onto our website. We encourage you to fill out the Meet Your Match survey to figure out what personality of pet best suits your lifestyle. From there, visit our website again. You can see all the animals available for adoption, and they will have in the corner of their photo the Meet Your Match personality, so you can see which pet has a personality that matches your Meet Your Match survey results. And then when you see an animal that you think you're interested in, email us directly at the Barrie Center. It's just our general email address, barrie@ontariospca.ca, to express your interest in that animal. From there, the first few people that email us will get a meeting request over Zoom. On Zoom, you're going to be able to hear a little bit more about that animal, a little bit more about their personality, how that animal would fit in your household and your lifestyle. And then you get to meet the animal and watch them interact with our staff over Zoom. So, it's been a really great experience so far. And at the Barrie Center, we've adopted out already over 15 animals within about a week and a few days. And everyone's had a great experience, and even the staff have had a great experience. So it's really awesome all around. We have quite a few rabbits in care right now, and rabbits don't tend to get adopted as quickly as dogs and cats. And, we've been posting them available for adoption and receiving inquiries from members of the public about adopting them within a day or so. So there are definitely a lot of people out there looking for pets still. We would encourage you to register for our fundraiser, Sweat for Pets, but we can always use things like cat carriers. We can still use dog leashes, dog collars. Big things that people don't really think about is like printer paper, garbage bags, dishwashing soap, laundry soap, and all those, anything office, anything janitorial, we are happy to have. We still do have a donation bin at the front door, but we are asking that if you are donating anything that is not brand new in packaging, and it's a hard surface, we're just asking that it's disinfected immediately prior to being dropped off, and preferably put in a bag with the person wearing gloves or freshly washed hands. And same with things like sheets and towels. We're still accepting those, but we're just asking that they're washed, dried in high heat, and then put in a bag that closes, or you can tie up using gloves or freshly washed hands, and then they can be dropped off still at our front door any day between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. We're still here, we're still taking care of the animals, and we are still doing adoptions right now, so definitely visit our website, ontariospca.ca. From there, you can see animals available for adoption, you can see our wish list, you can get information about the Urgent Animal Care Fund, and information about Sweat for Pets as well.
Hi everyone, Yvonne Heath here, founder of Love Your Life to Death and the I Just Showed Up movement. So I just wanted to spend a few minutes with you today as we continue to navigate this pandemic, COVID-19. Things are moving forward in many aspects, which is very exciting. We have stage 3 in some areas. So that means that people who have been isolated or haven't been able to work are able to get back to work, and they are celebrating. There's other areas that are still in stage 2, and that is challenging. And again, we continue on this roller coaster of emotion, right? There's grief and there's joy, and they coexist. And we have to remember along this journey, as I've mentioned before, we are all in the same storm. We are not all in the same boat. Even as we move forward, for some people, they are truly celebrating, while others feel even more anxious about it. And that is also understandable, right? It is okay not to be okay, because some people have more fear. Oh my goodness, more things are opening up. That means I have more possibility of getting sick. And so we have to, in this, be even more mindful, more intentional about gratitude and kindness, and just showing up for ourselves and just showing up for each other. When I talk about just showing up for yourself first, the very best version of you is your greatest gift to the world. And part of that is being a great example. And part of that is saying, I am not okay if I am not okay. We have to be able to allow our own feelings. We have to check in with ourselves frequently. How am I doing? Mentally, physically, emotionally. And if you need help, the most courageous thing you can do is be vulnerable and say, struggling here, I need help. A lot of people consider me a grief expert, which I think is hilarious. I'm a really good hugger and crier, and I acknowledge and allow my feelings, and I allow my grief. So if that makes me an expert, I guess I am. But this is also very challenging for me. I still have a lot of grief in many aspects. And so I am very intentional about filling my happiness bucket, about checking in with myself. And when I need time, I just give it to myself, and I remove myself from either social media or anything that I need a break from. I encourage everyone, check in with yourself frequently. And when you are able to just show up for others, do it. Just remember that when we reach out to others, when we check in with them, when we say, how are you doing? When we smile and wave at people, hi, hope you have a good day, that can change someone's day. I promise you, I have interviewed hundreds of people. And what they told me, the things that made the biggest difference is just someone extending a little kindness. So no matter what situation we are in, no matter what we are navigating, we can do that. And here's the trick, and here's the little secret that I love to share. When we just show up for others, it is actually a wonderful way of healing ourselves and stepping out of our own grief. We all get to shine our light, don't we? Do not inundate yourself with the negative. Do not inundate yourself with every statistic and worry about who's wearing their mask and who isn't. Be the very best example that you can be. Take very good care of you. Wear your mask, wash your hands, and know that we are in this together, and we will get through it together. And a lot of people talk about they want to get back to normal. I choose to believe that we can do even better on the other side of this. So more importantly than ever, remember to just show up for yourself first. And whenever you can shine your light, just show up for others. We can do this together. And feel free to reach out anytime at loveyourlifetodeath.com. Thanks, everyone. Take good care. Bye for now.
The Women in Children's Shelter Barrie is pleased to announce the launch of a new initiative named Our Voices, Our Freedom. This initiative will create a Women's Advocacy Council through the generous financial support of Women and Gender Equity Canada. The Women and Children's Shelter Barrie is committed to ending all forms of violence experienced by women and girls. The members of the Advisory Council have come from a broad range of sectors and areas of expertise. They will speak to the particular barriers facing diverse groups, such as women of color, Indigenous women and girls, LGBTQ2 and non-conforming persons, newcomers and immigrant women, and women with disabilities. The goal of the Council is to advocate for advancement, increased opportunities, equality and freedoms for all women and girls through social movement, awareness, and democratic activism. This council was born out of the 2019 report, Best and Worst Places to Be a Woman in Canada. The report looked at 26 major cities across the country, and Barrie ranked dead last. The council will examine the current landscape of Barrie and area and execute initiatives all around Simcoe County to address the gender gap. We will be focusing on 5 key pillars that impact women in our community: education, health, democratic leadership, personal safety, and economic opportunities. For more information and to find out where you can help, please check our website at barrieshelter.com.
So I am a practicing visual artist and a professor, and during this time I had some shows that were canceled because of COVID and museums and galleries were closed. So I was thinking about ways to engage with my community without having the ability to show my work in a gallery. And I wanted to think about what motivates me to exhibit my work, which is often installation based. So it's hard for installations to be mediated through a screen or through, a book. You kind of have to experience them. So I was thinking about my home as a site for an installation, and that I wanted to engage with my community and wanted to connect with my neighbors and the people walking by with their dogs, and hopefully begin to shift a paradigm, right? So that when people are isolated in their home spaces, that they may not be as connected with a visual art community in the same way, right? They can't go to galleries, they can't go to museums. So to have an art install on my front lawn and connected to my home allowed me in process while I was making the piece to chat with people, my neighbors' kids, people walking by, all different age groups, while at the same time hoping that we began to think beyond our suffering and our isolation and be inspired and hopefully inspire other artists to do the same. So a visual artist is using traditional media, painting, drawing, but also video art, performance, fiber installation, to express their emotional concepts, their intellectual ideas, and to share them with people within their communities, local or global. I do a lot of fiber art and fiber art installation specifically, and I have little boys at home and wanted to utilize the materials I had in my home, which happened to be a big bin of embroidery thread. And I liked the idea that embroidery thread has a connection to domesticity, has a connection to the home space, and so I just wanted to use something that I had readily available because many artists were struggling to get their materials and supplies sent to their homes during COVID. And I could watch my kids while I was working on the piece. And I wanted to think about, or I was thinking about energy, right? Lines of energy and connecting through space and architecture, and how our homes are both spaces of isolation, but they're also spaces of protection. So the energy lines that are coming from the ground near to where the community would be walking by on the sidewalk kind of move up towards the house space. And they also offer a layer of protection. You can see that there's a sense of the vertical fiber almost acting as bars bars, kind of protecting what's also happening in my home. So, and drawing attention to the spaces between things architecturally, the spaces between bodies, the spaces between a home and a more of a public space. So using the fiber lines to kind of map out the spaces between myself and the people walking by while watching my kids on their bikes, while working from home, and all the other things that, you know, we were trying to layer in this COVID experience. So I went through 16 rolls of embroidery thread, but they were at different lengths. So the thread that is connecting between the banister and the sort of roof of my porch, there are about 30 wrappings of thread, and I was thinking about like days of the week, but then the threads that are coming then into the more public space and engaging into the lawn, those are dependent on how much thread was left in the spool. So it's it depends, but I wanted the top part to be a little bit more thicker, and then the energy of the lines. And you'll see too that not all of the spools could continue. So some of the fiber that's connecting to the lawn is not as thick or not even there. And it will have entropy, right? So I've already had to do a little bit of tweaking, and some of the fiber got damaged in the wind or kids playing around, and that's okay too. So the fiber that's connected to the ground probably will end its life within the next month or so, but the part that is on the porch, I'm hoping can stay indefinitely and may adapt and change, might become something else as time goes on. I'm hoping that it sort of catches on in the community. I have teenagers walking by and asking about it. I have people, it tends to be a bit nostalgic. So some people see it as, you know, reminds them of fiber arts from their past, or like a comfortable space, almost like a hammock. Like it seems that people are wanting to, you know, touch it and engage with it as well, which is also great, right? That we can actually touch art, you know, on the lawn. It's not scary. It's not elitist in any way, right? It's connecting with everybody who walks by. Some, and little kids, which is great too. Doesn't matter if, doesn't matter if you are, you know, a small child or, you know, you're a senior. Everyone seems to be, it's not a threatening space, and that people are wanting to chat with me about it and talk with me of what's this about, and, you know, what do they think about it? And that to me is very exciting. That's the whole part, is that I can chat with people I may not have known, but also to give to my neighbors in my neighborhood just in the way that I can. I'm not a frontline worker, I'm an educator, and I've wanted to keep my hands busy. I wanted to engage in a way that I hadn't been able to in the past.
We are into our 10th annual gala. This year, of course, it's looking completely different because we've had to be innovative and creative in the way that we deliver our gala to our very loyal supporters. So this year, on Friday, September 25th, our butterfly ball is going to be a virtual butterfly ball. We often refer to an event like this as a no-go gala. So you don't have to have all those expenses of having a dress, babysitter, drive there and back. You can stay in the comfort of your own home and enjoy some food and some wine, and enjoy supporting the amazing initiative that is Matthew's House Hospice. So last year we introduced the theme of a butterfly ball, and it was great. We had people with winged costumes and fairy headdresses, and we're carrying that on. So this is a virtual butterfly ball, and what we're saying, it's the home edition. So get dressed up. We'd love to see how you can embrace the theme and put on your wings. Tickets are available at matthewshousehospice.ca. Visit our events page. and there is a link there to purchase tickets. Tickets are $150 per person, or if you want to buy a table for your bubble, $1,250 for 10 people. So gather your friends and enjoy in the comfort of your home. We will deliver to you some wine, red and white wine, and then a beautiful charcuterie board filled with all kinds of tastings for you to enjoy while you watch the TV presentation on Rogers TV and live stream. We're thrilled to announce that Erin Davis of CHFI fame is hosting our video or our virtual gala from her home in Vancouver. And so you will Zoom in, enjoy some entertainment, enjoy Erin Davis, very funny host, and be able to support Matthew's House through live auctions, silent auction, and an ask auction, all while enjoying it in the comfort of your home. So what's better than that?
The primary market focus for the ABIA right now is to shop safe, shop local. We were a strong proponent in the Simcoe Muskoka health decision that promoted and recommends that everyone wears masks. So we were a strong, silent supporter of that. Towards the end, becoming vocal that they moved a lot quicker than what they were doing. So we were quite encouraged by that. Where in Alliston, we want people to feel safe. What we found were those that weren't comfortable coming out are now comfortable coming out and willing to spend their hard-earned money. In the downtown, the ABIA is focused on, primarily right now, is the sustainability of our businesses with a point of really concentrating on our survival of our restaurants. Last year, we submitted a plan to the town of New Tecumseth for an outdoor patio program where we would take up a couple of parking spots in front of each restaurant. The ABIA is footing the bill during this pilot program, and we hope to implement that real soon. In the meantime, we've been supporting the town with allowing the restaurants on their current physical property to open patios to whatever extent to ensure that the safety of our customers in the downtown. We were fortunate through the ABIA a year ago to identify and partner with the Ontario Business Improvement Association and their Digital Main Street program. We had considerable uptake where our retailers here in town established websites, established online shopping, so we weren't as hard hit as other communities. Those that provide a service instead of a product were the hardest hit. The gyms, the yoga, the support that our members are needing and requiring is that of their financial support. Frequent the restaurants, shop safe, shop local. Please spend your hard-earned money locally. As we've done through studies that for every dollar that is spent in the Alliston catchment area, the reciprocal effect is that of $1.3 being spread throughout the community, not only through the charities that we support, but most importantly, through the employees that we're able to retain and keep and ensure their livelihood. And from there, continue to make Alliston the wonderful community that it is. For more information about our downtown merchants, our services that are available, urban.com is the website that we have for our business community.
So happy today to be playing to help out the Barrie Food Bank in their drive to help others who are a little unfortunate and people are just in a little bit of need of help. We hope you can contribute when you can, and even in your own areas, wherever you are, get in there and help out people. I'm going to do a few original songs. My name's Stephen Henry. So we're going to start with a brand new one I just wrote not too long ago. So we'll see if we can make it through. 'cause I am there for you. It's hard to feel the love when there's no one about. You're pounding the blacktop, the rain's pouring down. The weight is like thunder, peacefulness you never found. The days are just too long, the nights too steep, restless legs, restless sleep. Take my hand, 'cause I am there for you. The days are just too long, the nights to sleep, restless leg, restless sleep.